Women who think that only men should be drafted in the event of a war. Why? I'm going to be honest, I have never met any woman who thinks men should be drafted. Most of the women I talk to think that no one should be drafted. I honestly don't know anyone who says this unironically. A much more popular opinion in my experience is that the draft should be abolished entirely, so neither men nor women should be forced to serve in a war they don't support. Edit. Thanks for the award and upvotes. Edit 2. I don't know why a lot of you seem to think people shouldn't be forced to join the military against their will translates to we shouldn't have any kind of national defense or military at all. Nor am I saying this comment is the only experience out there. Just stating my own observation. Sorts by controversial. I don't. But at least one parent needs to stay with the babies. He's diabetic. I'd take his place if needed. In a perfect world there would be no draft. Thank you kindly for the award. This thread is wild. I'm not a fan of the draft in general. And as a healthy young female, if it came to it, I would enlist. But one thing a lot of people are forgetting is that rape is used as a method of war. We don't talk about it a lot because it's so horrific. But in every armed conflict there is mass rape and women are raped to death. The stories of what the Russians did to the German women after WWII are horrific. I'm a dude, but I haven't seen it said yet. Young women being held as POWs by the enemy makes for extremely powerful propaganda and bargaining power. This is a practical concern of women soldiers, independent of their capabilities. I'm female. So I'll bite. I'm small. So I think there are a number of jobs that require a certain level of strength or size I'll never have. It might take two of me to do a job one guy can do. I might be able to shoot a rifle, but not be able to carry the pack. I might be able to drive the truck, but not be able to unload it, or lift the tire to fix it. I need a whole set of equipment made for my height and strength, or I will be injured on the way to the front. Literally every guy over the age of 13 is stronger than me. Now if there's a role where you need a draft and that doesn't matter, and you've got right sized equipment for me, sure put me in a draft. I'm happy to take a position, so a young man doesn't have to do it. Otherwise, you're better off putting me somewhere else where I'm not a potential liability. Like a factory. We want to win the battle, and that means not being woke about it. I actually know more men who think this than women, including myself. Some are saying that women are not as fit for battle or that having women mixed with men will cause problems, like attachment, emotional affairs and jealousy problems. Also there is the simple fact that we need women to keep the population going, and some young enough to work to keep the economy going. Losing thousands of men and women who are 18, 25 is a very stupid idea. I've read lots of stories in the past few years about women, sometimes specifically married women, being harassed in the armed forces. One lady who wrote an article about her experience said she was singled out over the single women in her unit for harassment and her wedding ring became the target of much of the comments. Women in general, however, seem to have a rough go in the armed forces. I don't think anyone should be forced into military service. But if they are, I think forcing women into a situation rife with sexual assault and harassment is immoral. Shouldn't be a draft, because people that don't want to go to war don't make good soldiers. And that includes men and women. But there are women who do want to go to war and some of them are complete badasses. Gender should have nothing to do with it. Too many men in here answering for women. Sounds familiar. Ask the men who think this, not the women. They are easier to find. The US military, Marines specifically, actually did a study comparing mixed male and female squads to all male squads. The all male squads performed better in all regards to the mixed gender squads. Source: NPR. org/section/20way/09/10/439,190,586 Marine Corps study finds all male combat units faster. than mixed units. I'm curious how an all-female squad would compare against an all-male squad and a mixed-gender squad though. Cherry picking equal rights. A lot of men are answering for women here. Interesting. If my husband gets drafted, and I get drafted, do my toddlers just raise themselves? I'm a woman and I've never heard a woman say only men should be drafted. I've heard women say no one should be drafted or everyone should be. The only people I've heard say only men should be drafted are men. I personally think men are not just physically stronger, they're also more resilient. That being said, as a girl who lifts weights 6 days a week, I've seen real strong women lol. Those women that have been bodybuilding, been juicing for years. Their cleds are bigger than most of our homes, so they could probably be drafted too. It, not women. I think it's not women saying that, but anti-feminists making up that women are saying that tbh. You can repopulate a country with 1,000 men and 100 million women, not the other way around. The draft should only be if we are actively invaded. I don't wanna be sent over to kill some Middle Eastern farmer just because he discovered oil. I want to defend the land of my country, not go invading. Because of the risk of sexual exploitation by superiors, there are some armies that offer a certain number of free abortions. Also, if a female soldier gets captured, she's in way more trouble than a male soldier. You do realize that men are the ones who made the existing rules, right? I don't think only men should go to war. Legit, the only people talking about it are men bitching and making memes. But when we see women in Ukraine fighting, they also say, what are they doing? They gonna lose. Stop putting women there. The fuck do you guys want? Because women are generally significantly weaker and slower than men, and wouldn't be able to keep up, assuming all training is standardized. Many feminists, not all, A. support the draft for both women and men, or B. do not support the draft at all, do not want women or men to be drafted. Rep. Jack Spear, DK Liff. Close bracket. If we want equality in this country, if we want women to be treated precisely like men are treated, and that they should not be discriminated against, then we should support a universal conscription. Spear told the political website The Hill in April. Mastrine, a self-described feminist libertarian, argues that draft registration violates individual choice. I can't imagine a more tragic loss of liberty than forcing a citizen, whether male or female, to fight in a war with which they may disagree. Equality is a moot point if personal choice and bodily autonomy must first be eliminated to achieve it, Mastrine said in a statement. From nkronline.org/news/politics/feminists way draft registration women. Man here. But I have the opinion that women should not be added to the draft. I think the draft is immoral, and don't want men to be in it in the first place. And I'd rather focus on getting it eliminated than adding women to it. I've only ever heard men say this. I don't know any woman, including myself, that wouldn't be happy to help protect my family and country. Look at Ukrainian people. Everyone is helping and many women have joined the fight. I have young children and they need me, so I couldn't fight on the front lines right now. But if I was childless, I would sign up without question. The thing is, not all war is done on the front lines. I have medical training and would sign up as a medic. There are many different ways people help in a war effort. Women during WW2 worked and contributed in a huge way on the home front. My grandma became a mechanic and worked at a bomb making factory, driving and fixing up trucks. Because it would essentially be forcing women into a situation with a very high chance of being sexually assaulted. Because one parent needs to be held back to care for the children, and women predominantly are better equipped to do this. That's not to say that some men aren't equal or better parents, but as of now, as a group, women are the ones keeping homes running. because women wouldn't be supplied with adequate menstrual care if they were all called on short notice. Because testing every woman for pregnancy to ensure the safety of unborn children would be a logistical nightmare. I'm not a huge fan of people of any gender being drafted though. I think everyone, men or women, should do 1 year military training to learn the basics in case of a situation like Ukraine, where it doesn't matter who you are, being invaded/bombed is going to affect everyone. And people should be allowed to register to be drafted if needed. Plus, that 1 year training should include setting clear instructions and protocols to deal with the logistics of co-ed civilians fighting a war together. As a mom, I would fight for my child's freedom, but I can't just leave her unattended to do so. My contribution would have to be helping with resources, or whatever else I could do from my city. Because of the rate of rape in the military. No rational thinking woman actually feels this way. You're just trying to lure out some trolls to take out some pent-up misogynistic herder women want equality, but wanna dodge a draft rage on. If need be, this hypothetical draft will enlist healthy men and women, and the units will fill with hopefully dedicated Americans who want to fight for their country. My father is a veteran and still works for the military even though he's retired. He talked me out of joining the military out of fear for me of the experiences I might have as a woman in the military. But at the end of the day, if America needs soldiers, they will come. Men, women, black, white, gay, straight, they will come. And they will fight. Bro, who TF thinks this? People who think this probably also think women shouldn't have gotten the right to vote. I don't think anyone should be drafted into some dumbass war. Only reason I can think someone would say this is if they didn't want to get drafted. Say a woman and a man are in combat and the man gets shot. Now that woman has to try and drag a 250 plus lb man, adding gear weight, to safety. It's not gonna happen. Most females are not strong enough to make that happen. Edit, you can downvote me all you want. If I'm injured and under fire and you can't help me, then I have no use for you on my team. It sounds harsh, but in a life or death situation I need someone I can depend on. The only men who should be forced into war are the ones calling for it, politicians, etc. Kidnap the idiots to a secure, private location. Lock the door and let them beat the shit out of each other with fists. If they were forced to risk their own lives, they wouldn't demand for others to do so easily. Because politicians are so far removed from the line of fire, they don't see the value of human life. My wife, because we want to win. I think before the war there should be a vote for it. Those who vote in favor of the war go on the draft list. Those who vote no can't be drafted. Rape of women being used historically as a weapon of war. Funny how a lot of men are talking about how women need to be equal to men in terms of a draft when, if it could affect them, but don't say a peep when we talk about equal pay or how to give women rights. I love American men obsessing over a policy that hasn't been enacted in 50 years to prove that men are discriminated against. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like. If you would like to see more content like this in the future, subscribe and turn on notifications to be notified about future videos. Now check out one of these interesting videos.